Here I'm just setting off now for Taliban. No surprises there, yeah. And so I'll be rocking and rolling a little bit because of our path. We had quite a heavy fall of rain last night, so I'm expecting to arrive in Taliban with the now infamous Dirty Raptor. You might remember when we were investigated once because of an anonymous complaint, right? Anonymous. These people are knights in shining armour, but it's done a little bit rusty because they don't proclaim their identity. And the inspector was one, the investigator, I think his title was I think it was inspector, not quite sure. But anyway, a tall, strong-looking man who knew what he was doing. We, on that particular investigation, we had the parents of Lovely and LJ. Let me adjust this camera. And they arrived at the police station as well, because the anonymous accusation was that we were creaming money off the family, that we were charging them an inflated price for the house that we built. Anyway, the police officer gave us an alternative. As soon as he asked his questions, he said, "Look, in order to respond to this, we'll just do a written signed statement." He said, "You can go to an attorney and get this done if you wish." He said, "But all that will do will cost you money." He said, "What I'm willing to do, if you trust me, is I'll help you to prepare your statement. We can do it together with these parents of Lovely, and then you can sign it, have it notarized, and we'll submit that if it is done all to your agreement." Well, during the course of we did that, and of course there is nothing to find from Lovely's parents, because we'd been supporting them for a long time. The mother died. One of the accusations was that we had claimed that her death was something to do with COVID. Doesn't everything have something to do with COVID? Doesn't the sun rise in the morning and sink at night according to COVID? And there I might get myself banned on Facebook or whatever because I've mentioned the word. Well, during the course, and I got off on the subject there, of course, again, was the Dirty Raptor. And I remember that the cop said, "Oh, now we know who drives the Dirty Raptor." And unfortunately, we have these, you can see, I'm being knocked about. The road is getting to the point where it really needs to have the grader come in again, but it costs quite a bit of money, and we pay for the grader to come in and do the Barangay Road. That's what we've been doing, and we rent the grader with a driver, and we pay for his gas, and we give him a tip, and we do that through the city. Alright, so that's what we've been doing. But until then, there are certain places, we're coming up to one now, that hold the rainwater. Now, surprisingly, it didn't rain quite as much as I thought, and this, which is normally a nightmare of water being held in these deep ruts, and it gets all over the truck. Try as they might, people cannot understand why the truck is always covered in mud. It's very simple. So we're now back to going to Taliban, I got a few things to do. I have to go to Tafi to have a look at the work that's being done there on the police station. And our friends at the police station, we are friends with the police station, with the police. We're friends with the police in the Tafi and in Taliban. We also have an acquaintance, at least, with the police in Ubay and Trinidad. We've partnered with these groups, that these particular forces. We've partnered with them many times, and it's not us asking them, they ask us. So, you know, that might be a good time to lay to rest the idea that the police are about to come to our door and arrest us and put us in prison. We still have people out there who are anonymous. That's the whole thing there. The people that lay claims against us are anonymous. And if you're anonymous, you can say what the hell you like, can't you? You can make any claim. One of the threats that was made by one of the scumbag trolls was at the Village of Hope. The Village of Hope is a orphanage which does an incredible job. The Village of Hope orphanage is a happy place. Now, whenever I thought of an orphanage as a kid, you know, in Manchester, and there was an orphanage that we used to see, we used to look at it almost as if it was a haunted house. Oh my God, it's an orphanage. And the kids there would be suffering a terrible time. The Village of Hope orphanage is a wonderful place. It's not like a 5-star hotel, but the kids are happy. So anyway, it's not a promotion on the Village of Hope, but the owners of the Village of Hope were in America, and they had business in America, and they have donors in America like we do, and they received messages while they were there threatening that if they continued to work with us, that they would be reported to the FBI. Oh my God, the FBI? The FBI couldn't give two craps about whether the Village of Hope is working with us or with anybody else. But there's the threat. There is no ethics. There is no sense of right and wrong with people who are anonymous and can make any complaint. Now, because of what us, mainly, I'm going to take credit, we're going to take credit for the big change in the DSWD, which is the Philippine Department for the Welfare of Children and Families. Now, that's where all the trouble started for us. And now, and I'll finish off on this. Now, the last time that the DSWD came to see us, they came to see us for our annual visit, where they come and they look at what's left of our house and in this case the extension which we built as an office, which we're now about to move into because we still don't have a house of our own. The little red house, regretfully, is coming down because it's nearly falling down anyway after the typhoon. So they came and they saw us, and the great change that has happened because of all of the complaints that they received about us. There is another channel who it is powered empowered by a woman who claims to have legal training. As far as we were able to see, she's never passed the bar, but she devotes herself to orchestrating a campaign against Terence and Beth and the work that they do. Now, here's for whatever bad reports you may have heard, and you will have, if you've been on the web, you will have found all kinds of sites which are actually strangely run by expats, in other words by foreigners, and a lot who don't even live in the Philippines, so heaven knows what they're interested in this, except to get views and to get paid for what they do. And she orchestrates all of her minions. She doesn't do anything herself, but she gives people addresses and names where they can complain. Now, the DSWD at one point became so cynical about all of the complaints that they were having about us that they called these people our avid fans. Now, here's the change which will allow me to get off this subject. If you make a complaint now to the DSWD at least, and you make a complaint about anybody, not just about us, so we're able to take credit for a major change that has occurred, you must provide a sworn statement, and you must provide your ID. Oh boy, what will any anonymous scumbag be able to do with that? So you can make complaints all day long, but you need to back your complaint and your accusation, your allegation, your gossip and libelous, slanderous stuff with your name. What's the side effect of that? Well, the side effect of that is, of course, if you don't stand by your statement with proof, oh God, that's an evil word for the people who are in the troll business. Proof. Oh no, you're expecting too much. Proof. If you can't provide that, think twice. Think thrice. I'm going biblical here. Think thrice before you go and start making a complaint about anybody. So we'll get off it and we'll go on to something else. But I'm nearly at the end of my bumpy road, which usually signifies to me that I've been waffling on enough about this particular subject. So we got stuff to do. We're doing stuff with the police. We went down there and we spoke to one of the officers. We went down there on a social call, just going there. The police in the province are so different to whatever I see. I see some of these, admittedly, they're chosen for being awful, but what the police from what I saw, the clips, it's not just my opinion, the clips are there for anybody to see about what's been happening to some of the people that don't agree with things that are being done by the government in Australia, in the UK, and the brutality is something else. Here, the police, why do the police partner with us? Well, they partner with us because they go along and they help us feed a lot of people who might not go for a meal that day. And we go there and we take a lechon and we feed maybe 5, 6. We've fed, I think, as many as 800 people. Don't quote me on that, but I think that that's true. On the island, it's not hard, where they're living without hope at the moment. They are getting a certain amount of help, but it's not nearly enough. I don't know that it will ever be enough. And we partner with the police because we felt at first we felt that we'd better be careful handing food out, because what happens if things get out of control? They've never got out of control, and all we've ever done is have a wonderful experience. And the police chiefs of Atafi and of Taliban and Trinidad come to mind. They send along some of their officers, and nowadays, because we have our own volunteers, students that we support through their education, and they come along and they pay it forward, okay, by helping, volunteering. And in our case, our students just make everything fun. I mean, it's lots of laughing and joking and lovely kids, and they help. And so do the police officers of the PNP, who, to my mind, are the model for what police officers should be. Now, I remember that on one particular feeding that we went out to help with, on the way out there, our police escort found some illegal logging that had been going on, and there was a big truck there, and it was loaded with a load of wood that they should not have cut, of trees that were protected. And the police did their job, and they took these guys, this crew, and they cited them. So they're still doing their job even if they're with us, and they are armed, because police are armed here. So that's why we actually partner with them, and they come along and have fun as well. And so when we looked at the state of what was happening at the Atafi police station, they really need to have a waiting shed out the front of the police station. That particular police station is also it's also in line for having a new headquarters, a new Atafi headquarters, but it's not coming up for a while. That's why we did a lot of work in the back of that police station, giving them a new kitchen, dining room, and two male and female accommodation rooms. So I'm going down there to have a look and see what's happening, and I'll make a little video when I go. Thanks for looking in.